You broadly have two types of thoughts, active and passive. Active thoughts are the ones which you actively manually think about. You can generate them because you want to. For example, if I said, think about an elephant, you'd think about what an elephant looks like because you wanted to and because you actively tried to. But the passive thoughts are the ones which your subconscious mind just randomly generates when you're, for example, just walking down the street or something, and you just randomly think about a really awkward conversation from like 2 years ago. But the thing is, when these passive subconscious thoughts can be self-deprecating, rude, or harmful to yourself, that's when people develop poorer mental health, things like anxiety, depression. And this could be, for example, if you're just out in public and your mind just constantly thinks about like how you look, if you look bad right now off the shirt, people are judging you from what you're wearing, or if you look fat or something like that. That is poor mental health because your mind is just not on your side. If your own subconscious mind is being rude and self-deprecating and rude to you, that is bad for you. And in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to make your subconscious mind make the switch from that rude version to a super kind, uplifting version. It's so much easier to achieve your goals, get what you want done, and honestly, your self-esteem and mental health just gets so much better because your subconscious mind is always just being nice to you. It's saying, instead of saying like, oh, I look weird right now, it's saying like, oh, I look really nice right now. I'm happy, I'm kind, stuff like that. And first off, I'm going to start by explaining the three basic like states of mind which the subconscious thoughts kind of take. The first one is ruminations of the past. The second one is anxieties for the future. Both of these are the ones which tend to make you feel less good and less happy because you're thinking about bad stuff usually from the past and things you're worried about for the future. For example, where you're going to go for uni, for example, that you did bad on a test and you're worried about getting it back. Or for example, in the past, you may be thinking about these awkward conversations you had and stuff like that, and you just can't stop circulating that within your mind. And the issue is, not only does that impact your mental health, but also your physical health, because you tend to be more like less confident, less sociable and stuff like that. And that also contributes to poor mental health. So I hope you can understand how having a subconscious mind which is self-deprecating and rude can really impact your mental health. The first thing to understand about these thoughts is that the presence of the thoughts is the problem, not the content of the thoughts. So if you're thinking about, for example, something that's super cringy, just detach the emotion of like, oh, this was such a weird thing. Just think about, okay, I'm having a bad thought right now. This is my subconscious mind just generating a bad thought. And what this kind of plays into is the idea that we ourselves are actually just the observers of these subconscious thoughts. And this is getting kind of deep into like some meditation stuff, which I'll talk about later. But these subconscious thoughts, they just randomly pop up into your mind. You should think of yourself as the center of your consciousness, and that these random thoughts, just like think about like waves in the sea or like clouds in the sky, they just kind of flow across, right? And you can choose to observe them, attach emotion to them and follow them, or you can just detach your emotions from them, recognize that they are there, observe them and just let them pass, which is actually something which, if you can do correctly, is really useful, but it's quite hard because I'm getting a bit better at it, but that's after I've generally logged about, I think about like 15 hours of meditation in the last like month and a bit. And stuff like that is what helps you generate this idea that you can just be the observer of the thoughts and you don't actually have to worry about it. But that's just something for the short term, making sure that you can deal with these kind of poor thoughts, self-deprecating, rude thoughts which your own mind is generating. But the end goal is to actually have your own subconscious mind be generating happy, kind thoughts which are more often than not quite uplifting, happy, and make you feel better. Whereas right now they make you feel worse. And the main way to do this is just, first of all, be more present. And as I said before, there were three states of mind. We had rumination of the past, anxiety for the future. The last one was presence. And when you're present, you're not thinking about some cringy thing from the past or the future. And unless you're in like a super like cringy or like stress inducing environment in that moment. It's when you're just present, fully in the moment, not letting your mind just run off on its own. When you're just observing what you're doing, just being happy to be there, or when you're in like the flow state. So right now, when I'm recording, my subconscious mind doesn't have the energy to generate thoughts because all my energy is going into speaking, and that's something for later on. But just being more present and in the moment constantly is something which can really improve your mental health. So just think about just savoring the moment when you're there, when you're doing anything, when you're eating breakfast or eating a meal. Just like really observe the sensations of the food inside your mouth, or like what it looks like, and just be like kind of grateful that, okay, yeah, I'm here, I'm alive right now, I'm really happy. And you can just keep telling yourself, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. And eventually your the thoughts which you constantly generate within your conscious mind, the active thoughts, those are the ones which stem into the passive thoughts. And your passive thoughts are based off of what's been here in the conscious thoughts long term. Which is why things like low self-esteem is because you've constantly actively been thinking about like, oh, this person's judging me right now, they're judging me right now, which is why your passive thoughts are so like sad and depressing. But we can flip that on its head, which plays in perfectly to the next step, which is just being more grateful and happy throughout the day. And when I say just being happy, it is literally that simple. You can actively just force yourself right now just to be happy. If you think about a really happy experience, if you just do this negative visualization with me right now, imagine you were 80 years old and you were just walking up the stairs, but you were holding the handrail and your legs were aching and like you could barely hold it, your grip was hurting. You got up one step and you're out of breath and you're looking up the stairs, there's like hundreds more left. And imagine in that moment, you could click your fingers and magically be whatever age you are right now, which is probably younger than 80, and you are healthy, happy, just like you are right now. Imagine if you could click your fingers and do it. You're here right now. Just be happy. Use that negative visualization to really push yourself to be like a happier person and just be more grateful for what you have. And the actionable step for this is genuinely just spend 5 minutes a day. Get a journal. Get a journal. Just get a journal and just literally write down just 5 or 6 things which you're grateful for that day when you wake up. Just literally write down. I'll turn to a random page. Just write down. Today, I am grateful for my past self suffering so much. So I'm putting in hard work so that I do not feel horrible for failing. Stuff like that is constantly reinforcing that into your mind is the habit that really makes a change here, that makes you feel happy and pushes your subconscious mind to become happier and more grateful more often. And this is one of those habits which people don't really like. They don't really fuck with it at the start because it's like it's kind of weird, and like so is meditation. But you just have to give it a chance and you really have to just let it play out for a little bit. And maybe one day you'll notice that instead of one time you being like, oh for fuck's sake, my food's so like it just looks really shit right now. You'd be there like, oh my god, I've got a meal, I'm not like starving like some children are. And you'd actually be grateful and stop being such a dickhead. And that's how your subconscious mind could be embedded in your base of your passive mind. Those 3 steps: meditate, try and just understand that the thoughts themselves are not the problem, but the presence of the thoughts. Recognize it, observe them, try and detach your emotions from them. And finally, just be grateful. Just be very grateful for what you have and do this every day. Get the journal. Get a journal and just write down 5 things a day which you're grateful for. And once you do that for long enough, you may find that hopefully your mind is healed and you can be happier and your mental health improves.